As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
BravBros. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of BravBros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Schlutz McGlutz. What's up, dude?
Let me be the first to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Start this off on a good note, baby.
Merry Christmas.
Just kidding. I have a pimple inside my nose. I told you about it the other day. It fucking sucks.
It's still there.
It's still there. I think it's there. I think I popped it. I don't know. You know how that goes?
Yeah,
it's inside. Like, I have no idea. So I think I popped it. I'm trying to leave it alone. But I go on TikTok last night. First video that pops up. Some like fucking dermatologist talking about how getting a pimple inside your nose is one, it's called the triangle of death.
Oh, interesting.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
two. If it gets infected, it goes straight to your brain and you die. So that's what I'm dealing with.
Well, here's to hoping.
Yeah, dude. So you're telling me that's a way to go out. That shooter die. He had a pimple inside his nose, popped it, died.
Oh, what? They hit the Bermuda Triangle.
That's
What, the Triangle of Death, did you say?
triangle of death.
That
It's
seems
because
like,
it hurts so bad.
seems like a gross exaggeration.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It sucks.
I know how much it hurts, but the Triangle of Death? Why is it a triangle? Because your nose?
Your nose is a triangle
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
underneath. Like you go, you know,
I mean, it's also a triangle. This is
there's a lot of
Can
triangles.
can we not do
What do you want?
geometry with the
It's
nose?
not really geometry. It's just shape identification, I guess. Right? Is that what geometry is?
That's geometry.
just more intricate shape identification. Yeah, math.
Welcome
math.
back to the math, bros.
I love getting you started on math. You hate math, so
I'm not a math fan. I just don't. Here's my thing with math. Unless you are in a profession in which you need to know like really serious calculations, and I appreciate that if you are. If you're not, or not planning to be, I like the whole thing in school when they're like, you can't use a calculator. When in my adult life am I going to do math without a calculator? I am not, is the question, is the answer to that question. Unless it's like simple addition. If it's an actual equation, I'm using a calculator. So it's not realistic for you to tell kids in school not to use a fucking calculator.
Well, no, that was just our generation and the generation before us that was told you're not always going to have a calculator. Now we have one in our pocket.
We literally
And
always
like my
have a
laptop,
calculator.
like Excel, a calculator. Yeah, I get it. I understand it. But I do like doing math. I like doing
Oh,
it in
you
my
like
head.
math?
Yeah, I like doing it in my head.
You
Yeah.
like doing it in math?
I like doing math.
That's cool. Sick.
Doing it.
Sick. Maybe you should join like a math club for
I
adults.
was in a lot of math clubs. Oh, for adults?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's like I'm not going to say what never mind. I'm not doing it.
Anyway.
Not doing it. Not offending people today. We're going to steer clear of all of that. Even though we did get a request yesterday for me to go on my jam band rant, but you have a plan, you say, so we're just going to stick to that.
No, I don't have a plan, so this is even better. I would love for you to finally dip a toe in.
It's going to be organic. I don't want to just do this.
You don't
off the
want to
cuff.
jump in?
No.
Why?
Just I don't want to.
You know what? Here's your lead in. The guitar player or drummer from Iration follows us. He followed us like a month ago.
I don't know who Iration
It's a
is.
jam band. It's exactly the bands that you do not like.
Well, if he follows us, I don't want to piss him off.
You
He
know,
unfollows us.
other than Iration.
I don't care who that is.
Do you remember Dave Matthews concerts? Did you go to those?
Fucking dirty. Yeah, that's like jam band light.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. We used
That
to,
was
well,
the-
we used to tailgate them. I don't know if I ever. I probably went into a couple.
I
of
went
them.
to one with, it was him, Jack Johnson, and ALO. It was actually a
Oh,
solid
I was at
concert.
that concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
At
there.
Penn's Landing.
Yep.
Yep. See?
I
Boom.
was there. Yeah, but that's the thing is like Penn's Landing for everybody in the Philadelphia area. A lot of the Penn's Landing tailgates and a lot of the Camden tailgates kind of merged together. So I don't know which is which
That's
anymore.
fair. That's reasonable.
Except for the one concert was Kanye and Rihanna. That was sick.
That sounds
Glow
like
in
a
the
great
dark.
concert.
Yeah, that was
I
when they
saw
handed out
Kanye.
those sunglasses that made no sense.
I had the ones that had
Shutters.
shutters in front
Yeah,
of
they
them.
made absolutely no sense.
I forgot I went. I saw Kanye and the Diamonds Are Forever tour.
I don't think that's what it was called.
Yes, it was. Isn't it? Because that's what we all did the whole time was put your diamonds in the sky if you feel them.
He did that for a lot of different concerts, though. Now we're just going down a different rabbit hole.
Hold on.
Also,
I gotta look this
Kanye problematic now, so we're gonna get yelled at.
Old Kanye. Look, I think you can trace the downfall of society back to the downfall of Kanye. When he started losing his shit is when everything started getting wacky in the world as well.
It's like parallel to
I'm
the
just
real
saying.
world.
Just
it could be.
saying. When
Definitely
he
could
lost
be.
his mind, the world lost its mind as well. Is it correlated? I don't know. Just a coincidence? Perhaps.
Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking up the tour name.
So you're looking to see how many
Was it
selfies you had.
maybe it was the Glow in the Dark tour?
Yeah, it was the Glow in the Dark
the
tour.
one? When did Diamonds Are Forever come out?
Before that. That's a completely different thing. Glow in the Dark tour was like graduation.
Okay. I don't know when I went. I definitely saw him live though, and I didn't know that until you said that.
Yeah, we were there. We went to a lot of the same concerts just because we were degenerates and we decided to go to Camden to sit in a parking lot and drink for hours.
When
And
we were
sometimes we would go.
17 years old.
Yeah, sometimes we would go to the concert.
Occasionally.
Depends.
We went to Phillies games in high school. We would go drink in the parking lot till the 5th inning, buy a $14 ticket, and go stand in like the 300 section for 2 innings.
We would. Or if it was a playoff game, we would go in like the second inning.
Yeah.
Still not there for the beginning of the game.
No, and if you go to the right, back in the day at least, you went to the right section up top, they didn't card you when you bought beers, and they were
Correct.
cheaper.
And they were cheaper.
They were cheaper.
Because
up
people didn't want to walk up there.
Yep. So we would go
Gotta hit their
there,
quota.
and we would house beers and watch the Phils.
It's not much different than what I do now.
Nope. We were 16, 17, 18 doing it.
Yep.
Woo!
Let's
Good
go.
times.
High
Let's
school.
go. High school. But it is our end of the week episodes. So let's do our Rose and Thorn. So why don't you lead us off there, champ?
I don't really. So it's funny because it's been such a great week for us with just, being on Bravo.
Wait a minute. Before you do this, don't forget, we have a live show coming up January
Plug
25th.
God.
Plugged. Finally, I remembered to do it. January 25th, we have our very first solo live show. The BravBros are going live in Times Square, the Green Room 42. It's a Thursday night, January 25th, like I said. So go to the link in our Instagram bio to purchase tickets. The VIP tickets are sold out. All the front row tickets are sold out. They come along with a meet and greet. So now the premier tickets are next in line, and those are closer to the stage. They also come with a meet and greet. So if you want to hang out with us before the show or after the show, we're not sure when we're doing the meet and greet yet. But if you want to chill with the bros, get yourself a ticket. Go to the link in our bio. Support the bros. It's our first standalone show. This one needs to go well so we can continue to do more shows across the U.S. We want to make this like a regular thing. So come out, support, get them ticks.
It's going to go well. I mean, we're going to put on a great show.
Oh, yeah, I know
It's
that.
up to the fans to make it go
support
well.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's balls in your court.
Yeah, the
everybody.
ball's in your court. Don't let us down.
I don't know. I like the meet and greet after the show because you know what? You get everybody has a great time. Everybody gets a little lubed up, if you will.
Yeah, a little loosened
Couple
up.
of- couple
I
of
would
drinks
prefer to
out in
say
the audience.
loosened up.
Yeah, lubed up's a little weird, right?
I don't love that. Let's get everybody.
Everybody gets a little lubed up, a little
before our
oiled
meet
up.
and greet. A little bricked up before the meet and greet.
Bricked up before the meet and greet. I'll be bricked up the whole show, but yeah, no, I like the afterwards because we did the meet and greet once before, and I was so tired of smiling. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
I don't
tougher
smile that
before.
much in my life as it is. Nothing to smile about over here.
You're smiling right now
I
as you're saying this.
know. This makes me smile. Self-deprecation makes me smile. Anyway, get your tickets. Come see the bros. It's going to be a great night.
Damn right.
Damn right. But
Now,
yeah,
back to Rose and
Rose and Thorn. Rosie Thorny. Like I said, not a bad week for us. We had a great week. My phone is still on selfies because Steele and I were looking at how many selfies we had yesterday when we were on Donna Bowling's show.
Yep.
And we'll get into that a little bit later when it's appropriate when we're talking about Salt Lake. My thorn of the week, which isn't really a thorn, it's just somebody that commented on one of our YouTubes. I am Tiara Hogan said, "You guys should recap 2 T's and a pod with the Toms. They talk about the scandal. Yes, it's hard to listen, but I feel your guys' commentary would be hilarious."
I could not physically get through
I
that.
don't think I could do it. And I think you're right, Tiara. I think it's a good idea in theory.
In theory, it's a good
But
idea.
I can't do it. I cannot sit, let alone sitting through just the two of them talking, having to listen to Sandoval. I don't think I could do it.
No, and the vitriol that would come out of our mouths in response to this podcast would set us back
We'd have to,
mentally.
I don't know if I'd have to do like 15-minute increments, although it's probably very similar to Bethany's show where every 5 minutes there's a 15-long-minute ad.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I don't know. I'd rather listen to the ads. However, I don't think we can do it.
Not a
And-
bad idea, but no.
My rose of the week has to do with what we were talking about last week. We made a very obscure reference talking about Forget About a Cuh.
Yeah, I know which one this is.
And we did get a couple of people that chimed in and sent us messages on Instagram about it. This was the funnier one
This is
that
a
I
top
saw. This,
3 review of all
yeah,
time.
Steele and I were playing video games last night, and he brought this up, and I thought it was hilarious. This one comes from Brinna253. My husband and I quote this movie all the time. This comes from Fast and Furious 2.
Sure does.
Like
it's
we
actually
said,
Too Fast, Too Furious, but that's okay.
it's okay. It's okay. She said FF2, which is fine because there's
It's close
11 of them now. But like we said, we hungry.
We hungry.
Love that one. And Pockets Ain't Empty Cuz is one of my favorite things
I
ever.
know.
That was the best. That's at the end of the movie when Paul Walker's walking away from the villain of that one, which was, I don't remember what his
Villain
name
number
was.
2 was...
I mess up because these two movies came out
I'm stuck
very
on Tokyo
close
Drift's
together.
villain.
No, I'm stuck on Bad Boys 2 villain.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
And he dates Eva Mendes.
Who's also in Fast and Furious 2.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, it's just all over the place. No, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
that's
Eva
not
Mendes is not in Bad Boys 2.
No.
This is just what happens
Yes,
to me.
she is in Bad Boys 2. Or is she in Bad Boys 1? She's in Bad Boys 2. Or is Bad Boys 2 about the sister?
Bad Boys 2 is about, Martin
Sister.
Lawrence's sister.
Bad Boys 1 is Eva Mendes.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's where I'm getting all messed up here. But
Fast
yeah.
and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, the villain was... It was a similar setup as like you got the drug lord dude and
Yeah.
they're like going to rob
Bad
him.
Boys 2 was Johnny
could see his-
Tilapia.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Johnny Tilapia was number 2, and Too Fast, Too Furious. I can see the guy's face. I forget his name, but I see his
whatever
face.
it is. But yeah, great movie, great call out. Thank you, Brenna. We love you.
Follow up, Brenna. If you are planning or live near the New York area and would like to go to our show, we did make a promise. If somebody called this out, we would get you a free ticket. We will give you 2 free tickets because you and your man watch it together. So if you guys want to come to the show, please reach out to us in our DMs. Say that was my comment, and we will float you some free ticks so you can come out and hang out with us January 25th in New York City. But now on to my rose and thorn. You definitely took my rose, but that's okay.
It's okay.
It was one of the best roses we've gotten, so I get it. But I'll start out with my thorn. And you brought this up on our earlier episodes this week, and it was like a rose for you, or you thought that it was a nice comment. I hated this comment. This comes from Fan of Ray. And I'll give the name a shout out because it's a 5-star review, but it's my thorn. And it says simply better. Okay? It says better, which is patronizing. I don't appreciate it. And it goes like this. I enjoy the podcast. Seems like you guys have gotten a bit more comfortable. There was a moment where you both seemed angry and mean, and I was ready to quit the podcast, but I'm back in. I like the banter. My only complaint is still impersonating people, except it's the same voice for everyone. For some reason, it triggers my gag reflex and makes me uncomfortable. So let me unpack this.
Wait a minute. I didn't read that last part.
I know you didn't read that part. So let me unpack this whole thing. First and foremost, this person had commented previously, and I remember this comment because they said, you guys seem like you're angry. That was the midst of OC, and you will get our actual emotions on this podcast. Sometimes we will be upset because what we're watching we're not enjoying, and that will come out in the podcast. As far as the impersonations go, that is not true. I have a similar one for Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks, yes. I have a similar one for all British people. It goes to the PK one.
Yep.
But other than that, like my Shep voice is only
Shep
for Shep.
voice is really good, and you already inherently sound like Craig. So
Yeah,
but you don't
people
really
say I
have
sound
to
like
impersonate.
Craig.
You only impersonate people that either one have a funny voice or two are pissing us off.
Right. I try not to do it a lot because I don't want to be annoying like I'm just trying to do
Did
impersonations.
just say though that you use Meredith and Lisa together, and all British people sound the same.
I did not say all British people sound the same. I
That's
said
what I heard.
my accent for British people is just the same one. I use the PK accent. I am not.
Mhm.
That's just simply untrue.
Okay.
Don't gaslight me right now. That's bullshit.
I
never
loved
said
that comment. I thought that comment was good because I understand how it feels. It reminded me that times right now are good. We have a lot of good shows to watch,
That's true.
and sometimes times suck.
That's
Like
also true.
during OC when we were very angry all the time. So I appreciated that comment because it kept me grounded.
Okay, cool. I hated
I'm
it.
a hard guy to keep grounded.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But my rose comes from Nini9497. It says A+, 5 stars. My favorite podcast to listen to, though I tend to agree more with Steele. Thank you.
The fuck?
I love the back and forth between the two of them. Love the football talk, even though I'm a Patriots fan. And as a history teacher, I love Shooter's take on current events. They are always fair and honest in their opinions and will call out even the housewives they like. 100% a fun and informative pod.
I guess I'll take that one.
Yeah,
I still got a
roses
shout
for
out
both
in
of
there.
us.
Yeah.
Just because she agrees with me more doesn't mean
Yeah, but you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
More.
That doesn't even make sense. We tend to agree most of the time, so you're wrong.
But when you deviate from me,
You're
Wrong.
wrong. Well, anyway, let's jump into some shows, huh? But we are back in Beverly Hills, and we start out with a little matchmaker, a little date with Sutton and Sal. And I actually texted Sutton. I said, "Hey, you sure you don't want to meet his mom? She sounds like a sweet lady." She said no.
Yeah,
And there was a
I can
lot more
imagine.
too that we did not see.
That was, I know that everybody likes to give Sutton shit for being very awkward on dates, which she still was pretty awkward on this date in her own right. However, that guy was awful.
That was bizarre.
That guy stunk.
Yo.
He looked, I couldn't tell if he was excited to be on camera, and that was like kind of part of it.
I don't think he was excited to be on camera. I think he was giddy because he was on camera.
Could be that too. But I also feel like this is who that guy is.
Oh, for sure.
And I blame, what's the matchmaker's name? Alexandra?
I think so.
Alessandra?
Uh,
One of the two.
A.
Something. An A name. They're definitely an A name. That's on her. Because this guy sucked.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
This guy was such a weirdo.
You are the Beverly Hills matchmaker, and this is your first person? That either speaks to the quality of your business, or maybe Sutton is difficult to matchmake with.
Yeah. It never goes well when you start talking about weather right away. First, I mean, he also said he's a sweaty, sweaty man, which is very funny.
I actually, when he said that, I was like, oh, this might work. He's a little clumsy too. Maybe.
Yeah.
So. But the funny thing to me was her response to that, her reaction. I was like, you can't have a weird reaction to him saying something weird. You told some other guy you had neuropathy.
That's a good point.
Within 5 seconds of
That's
your
a really
other
good
date.
point. It goes both ways with Sutton. She reacts to weird comments in a weird way as if she's turned off by them, but
Right.
she does the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So you can't have it both ways. This guy out-weirded Sutton.
When
though.
he started to talk about his mommy too much,
Oh my God.
I was like, my man. And in the beginning, like initially started talking about it, I was like, okay, that's kind of sweet. I get it. Like you want to spend time with your mom before she passes. If you left it there, I still would have been like, not a great topic, but fine.
Yeah, because then at least he has the family values.
Right. But then he starts to go into, I'm assuming they live together.
Right.
Which again is fine if you're taking care of her, but I wouldn't highlight every single story about being about you and your mother because that's weird
Very weird.
on a date that you
Yeah.
don't know this person.
Very, very strange. And I loved the end of it when they're walking out and they both just say, yeah, have a good night.
Yeah,
See
I
you
love
later.
when they stand up from the table. He goes, "Ooh, digging those shoes."
God, dude. Like, yeah, no, this is not Sutton's fault that he is not getting a second date.
No, he's
It's
not.
not on her.
No, but there might be someone new in the picture.
Could
According to her.
be.
No, this is might have heard something.
Talking inside sources.
Maybe.
Look,
Perhaps.
we can't talk about
I
those
can't
things.
divulge these things. I said
You
maybe.
just did.
I said maybe.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, moving on from there, we get Anne-Marie, Kyle, and Dorit, and they can't help themselves. They have to continue to talk shit about Sutton's esophagus. It makes no fucking sense to me. But what I did see, and this is like a foreshadowing for what happens throughout the rest of the episode, and I have a big Dorit theory for later, but she's really upset because Kyle has a new show that she's producing, and it sounds like a big deal, and has not even mentioned it to Dorit. And she's like, what the fuck? And then as a joke, Dorit's like, oh, what? Did you get any more tattoos? Haha. She's like, well, as a matter of fact. And then goes into the story about her tattooing Morgan Wade. And Dorit has the same exact reaction as most people should have. Like, whoa, that's really serious.
Yeah.
You inked someone's body permanently.
Also, they've been friends for 2 years?
2 years.
That's wild to me.
2 years. Well, sorry, no. 1 year. Kyle corrects it to 2, and I don't know if that's a legitimate 2 or I'm trying to save face here. No, it's more like 2 years, but whatever. That's what I got. That's the.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter,
It
really.
still felt weird.
2 years is still 2. Like,
Right.
to Dorit's credit, you've known her forever. You don't have a D on your body.
Nope. Well, she doesn't have an M on her body.
Regardless, you know what you get what I'm saying.
She didn't tattoo Dorit with a K.
Correct, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're
The
saying.
point is, you're much closer with Dorit. You haven't made this grand gesture for her, and this rubs her the wrong way. And now she's starting to feel disconnected from Kyle and says that ever since she's been hanging out with Morgan, it seems as though she's been replaced. It seems as though Kyle is starting to like morph into Morgan Wade, which honestly is like the best way I could put it. Because it does seem as though she's taking on a lot of Morgan's characteristics. I don't know if that's because she envies them. I don't know if that's because they're hanging out together a lot and she just likes those qualities.
I'm not really sure what it is, honestly. She could just be doing that. Like, we see it all the time with people. When you start dating someone new, you kind of take on their qualities or their hobbies or whatever it might be.
When
Like,
they start what?
taking on their
No, I
qualities
know.
or hobbies.
When you what? Start dating somebody.
Start dating somebody.
Dating
Yeah, I know.
somebody.
I know what I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm just.
They are
Jesus
dating.
Christ, why are you so feisty?
I'm
today?
not feisty. What are you
I'm
talking
agreeing
about?
with you. I'm trying to highlight a point.
You
that you're
agree with
making.
me in a weird way.
I'm trying to
I
highlight
thought
a point.
you were. I thought you were correcting a
No, I'm
pronunciation.
trying to highlight the
Okay.
fact that you are purposely saying dating.
Porpoisely. You were gonna say porpoisely,
Uh,
weren't you?
No, just move on.
I can't. No.
Continue.
Anyway, so when somebody starts dating someone new, they take on their qualities and their hobbies. Like, all of a sudden you're hiking every weekend and you said that you hate hikers, like things like that. Those are the things that are popping up now with Kyle and Morgan.
Mm.
She all of a sudden wants more tattoos and she wants to live this free life, and she talks about Morgan all the time. It's just really weird to see. I'm happy that people had the reactions in front of Kyle's face, because she can see how weird it is. However, she wasn't turned off at
She
all.
laughs.
She
every
laughs at
time.
it and she corrects them and says that she's even leaning more into these things. It's very weird behavior, very strange behavior. I wish that Dorit could just call her out directly, but she couldn't
That's
really. I feel like she was too hurt.
Mm,
Kind of like, oh, you replaced me as a best friend, so I'm going to kind of cower in the corner over here and make a couple of comments, but she didn't go after her,
I also
which
feel
is
like
annoying.
that's Dorit's MO though. She's only
For
going to
sure.
go to. She will call things out to in a weird way. The way she words things is never fully direct.
Yeah. But that
And
could
then-
also just be a product of what Kyle's doing
Perhaps.
by bringing in somebody like Anne-Marie and Dorit, because they're not going to question her behavior too much,
Not
and
at
that's
all.
not what she wants.
Anne-Marie needs to go away.
She sucks,
She's
dude.
brutal.
I don't get it. I still don't understand it. You had a clean slate. You got rid of Rinna. You don't have Kathy Hilton on the show anymore. See what you have. You have a good group of women here that are going to produce a good show, and so far it's been really good, and it's been living up to the standards.
This episode was great.
This episode was awesome. And there's a lot more that goes into it. You do not need to bring in another housewife. It makes no sense, especially somebody who's just going to be a yes man to Kyle.
The fact that she's commenting on Sutton as though she's been friends with her as long as these other women have, she's like,
God.
what's her deal? It's like, you don't know her deal. You have no idea who she is. You making all these claims and all of these comments about her is a horrible look for you. Even if Sutton was the worst person in the world, you talking like this without knowing her makes you look stupid because you don't know her.
It also makes people question your profession.
Right.
You're supposed to be an anesthesiologist.
You know how many people have reached out, not only to us, but just in general, like seeing people post certain things
Mhm.
from other housewives. Tiffany Moon, who's from Real Housewives of Dallas, has the same esophageal problem. So she talked about it. Doctors have come out and said things. Doctors have messaged us in our DMs and said, no, I deal with this frequently. It's a common thing, actually. A lot of people have to deal with it. And the fact that a nurse, anesthesiologist,
Whatever the fuck she is. Who
the fact
knows if
that
she even works?
an
Like,
anesthesiologist is claiming this is alarming because somebody in the medical profession should know about just having.
I
You can
bet-
have a problem with any part of your body. That's what's crazy to me is for someone to say that's not real. It's like there's so many illnesses and medical issues out there that are head to toe. Why would you ever claim that it's not real?
it's just a way for Anne-Marie to help
relevant?
out Kyle, I guess. It's not that. I
Yes.
guess it's the only thing that she's latched onto. She does not speak about anything else that's going on in the group.
Just
There's a
something.
lot of material. You just sat at that weed dinner. You could have talked about Eric and Denise. You could have talked about, I mean, yeah, you're going to talk about Sutton because she's a little polarizing. You could have talked about if you want to be Garcelle's friend. If you want to be Kyle's friend, you could talk about how Garcelle approached talking about Kyle and Mauricio.
Right.
You can do so many things. Why are you honing in on the esophagus problem when it's not something that you should be talking about? It's a real issue. It's something that Sutton has brought up. And what, you're honing in because Sutton is clumsy and you want to just like pick apart all the words that she says?
No, she's honing
don't
in
get it.
because Kyle doesn't seem to like Sutton.
Right.
Anne-Marie wants to look good in front of Kyle, so she latches on to the let's shame Sutton train.
Yeah,
which
it's
is a
just
bad
not
move.
it's not necessary because Sutton is right now, I think most people would agree, except for Matt Rogers, who we talked about last week, and I think even Donna said the same thing yesterday. Most people would agree that Sutton is carrying the season.
Sutton is doing a great job this year.
Sutton is pushing this season forward with whatever the fuck she's doing. Anytime that she speaks, anytime that she gets involved in something, it helps.
It does.
Let's just let Sutton do that. We don't need this brigade trying to bring her down off of one issue when Kyle's going through a lot right now. That's what you're doing. You're deflecting this and Anne-Marie's helping you. helping you. I put in air quotes because she's not. It just doesn't make any sense. Get her off the show.
Agreed. But we move on, and this is one of my favorite scenes in a very long time on this show.
Oh, yeah.
And we get Erica and Garcelle sit down to have drinks, and Erica immediately takes ownership in a confessional where she's like, this friendship got derailed because of me. That was my fault because of the things that I said
Huge to
in
see.
regards to her son. I know, it was massive to see that. So to see those two having a nice time, but we get a third person join, and it was a surprise. And surprise, here comes Sutton. And now you've got this whole group that never would have been seen together last year, that had a lot of issues amongst each other. Each one had individual issues with the other person. Sutton and Eric had a problem. Garcelle and Eric had a problem, separate from each other.
Yep.
So to see them all come together and not only be cordial, but have a blast. They're doing shots. They're drinking martinis. They're getting loaded.
They're talking shit on Denise.
Yeah.
They're having a great time. Nobody made any, like Sutton made some weird comments too.
I know.
Erica didn't jump down her throat.
Nope.
Garcelle didn't make excuses for Sutton. It was organic. It was fun to watch. I think you got on train too, but I think I was a year early on the Sutton and Erica being friends train.
Oh, yeah.
They are now. Like it's getting to that point. Erica even said that she wanted to send Sutton a little thing that she saw on the internet about, being from down south. You don't gossip, you pray for them.
Yep.
It's funny. It just works. It makes a lot of sense. And it's they're having a great time, and I'm having a great time watching them.
I am too. And when I realized in this scene where it was like actually clicking is when Garcelle makes the joke about Sutton making out with her driver.
Yeah.
And it goes well.
Yep.
Sutton laughs it off. She's like, sometimes he invites you to sit up front. He leans in accidentally. I lean accidentally, and you accidentally kiss. That whole thing was fun. It was funny. It was lighthearted. They made a jab at Sutton about her snogging with a driver.
Yep.
And she was totally cool with it.
Who was that voice?
I just like to say the word snogging.
Okay.
But I can't say it without saying it in a British accent.
Okay.
I just did.
So that was
but
like
it didn't
Ron
feel
Weasley,
right.
maybe?
Yeah, that was Ron Weasley because he says snogging a lot. But yeah, it was a great scene, and it's something that, again, last year we never ever would have thought would happen.
Yeah, because it was so dark last year. Like we're actually having fun moments this year.
We're having fun. But the next scene, Sutton signs up for Denise Richards' OnlyFans, and I get confused, man. I get confused, and then we talk about Magic Mike later as well, but like, what she's comfortable with doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like, there's certain things when it comes to sex and sexuality where she's totally fine discussing it, making jokes, talking about dildos, stuff like that, but Magic Mike was too far.
Magic Mike was too far for some reason, and I think it's time that we just kind of put this to bed.
Go to sleep, Mike.
It's got to be that she just wasn't invited on stage right away.
It has to be it.
It has to be it. She wore the pants. She was excited to do it. You can't sit there after going out to dinner or drinks or whatever with Garcelle and Erica when it's brought up to you as, no, it's basically porn.
Right.
The very next day having a fun time looking at it. Like, yeah, she did throw her phone when she saw the first picture.
But she was just like, oh my god.
She was still talking about it and having
laughing.
fun and laughing. So yeah, that's exactly what it has to be. And we can just put that to rest right now. Well, maybe not because it gets spoken about later.
Sure does. But in our minds, Mike, go to sleep.
Mike, go to sleep.
Go to sleep, Mike. We've
No
talked
more
about
magic
you
for
enough.
you, Mike.
Yeah, you are ordinary, Mike.
Ooh.
Ordinary Mike.
Man, ordinary Mike.
That's the show you
Nobody
see.
wants to see
That's
that.
off the Vegas Strip.
God.
Average Mike.
Average Mike.
But we get Kyle and Dorit in the car on the way to a party, Crystal's dinner party, and this is where you start to see the cracks in their relationship. And this is something that we've heard more about recently. We haven't seen it happening on the show. I mean, we've seen hints here and there. We haven't seen them discuss it at all. We haven't seen Dorit bring it up. And Dorit just flat out asked her, like, why are you not telling me things? Why am I on the outside looking in now? It seems like ever since you and Morgan got closer and closer, I've been pushed aside, which is what I thought too. But we find out from Kyle, this actually is a deeper issue going back to the reunion, or at least she's painting it that way, in which she didn't appreciate that behind closed doors. And I 100% believe this. I absolutely believe this is real. Behind closed doors, she was on the Kyle train. I'm so sorry for what you're going through, that your sister's treating you like this, blah, 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 on stage in front of Andy. And more importantly, in front of Kathy Hilton, she does not take that stance. She more so says, you need to take responsibility for your part. And that's where I guess Kyle felt a little bit betrayed. And I 100% understand that.
Yeah, I get that fully.
Because, Dorit behind closed doors was like a yes woman. Like, oh, of course, Kyle, of course. Like, you're so wronged. She keeps wronging you left and right. I'm so sorry. And then you get in front of the real true HBIC and Kathy Hilton because nobody wants to cross her except for Erica Jane. And you falter and throw your friend under the bus. So that actually makes sense.
It happens all the time.
But I can't stop thinking about, though, Kyle's reactions to, not accusations, but when anyone brings up anything to her about the relationship with Morgan, like the oddities of it, the things that are strange that stand out, the tattooing, the morphing into Morgan, all of these things, Kyle always laughs. She never denies. She never says, no, you're overdoing it. She just always laughs and no one else is laughing. It's uncomfortable. And I think that it really shows you how far into this relationship with Morgan is. And it's getting harder and harder for me to not call it out as more than a friendship.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is. And I think the way that Kyle's looking at it, and I think that she knows it's inappropriate, but she won't admit it. She talked about how, she stopped drinking. She talked about how she works out more often. She talked about how those things make her happy. They make her feel good. They make her feel like she's back in life again, or whatever you want to say. Morgan falls under that category.
Yep.
Her relationship, her friendship with Morgan falls under that category. The most happy that we've seen Kyle this season is FaceTiming with Morgan or laying around getting tattoos with Morgan. She is genuinely happy when she's around Morgan or talking about Morgan. That's where the laughing, the weird, uncomfortable laughing comes in. She's just fucking happy that Morgan's being brought up into a conversation.
That's what I thought.
She hears Morgan's name and she smiles.
I thought she was happy to hear Dorit compare her to Morgan.
Absolutely, 1,000%. She is excited to talk about Morgan. You can't have it both ways, though. You cannot go into that music video. You can't have Morgan coming around tattooing Morgan with a K. You could do whatever the fuck you want. In that scene, I thought all she did was put a circle on her body.
I know, man.
She put the K on her body. That's questionable behavior. She knows deep down that it's questionable behavior. People aren't directly questioning it to her face. I hope that we get to that point at some point, and I hope that we get to see her true feelings on the matter. Right now, I think that she fully understands that it's very bad behavior, and she just doesn't shy away from it. She just laughs it off and acts like it's a big joke because what else are you going to do? If she gets upset about it, then it shows, okay, this is a huge sticking point for me. Don't talk about Morgan. Don't do this. This isn't a problem. If she leans too far the other way, then it is a real big problem. People are going to ask about it. So she just laughs it off.
Yeah, no, that's well said. But we get to Crystal's dinner party, and it's quite the crew. You get Bill Burr's wife, Nia is there. You get a bunch of other friends and somebody, I think it's Dorit. It's like, it never ceases to amaze me how many friends that Crystal has. And she takes a dig at her like, it's 14 less than this number.
She had like 3 or 4 friends show up. I love that.
I know. She had
so many friends.
So many friends. It's 3 or 4 people that we haven't seen. But the more confessionals with Dorit, I'm going to keep highlighting Dorit and like all the stuff I'm seeing from this episode because it's important to what happens later. And like, all of the side comments, she's taking jabs at a lot of people right now. She's talking to a lot of people right now. And I'm going to save the theory because I want to bring it up when it's the most appropriate, but just keep everything that Dorit's doing in mind as we
I want the theory.
Party. We'll get there. But we're at the dinner party and Denise comes in and her excuse for the other night was a fever of 102 degrees.
Love that. That's how I act on a fever.
I think you would act like that if you had 102 fever. And you drank a whole lot, then you would act that way. But I mean, come on. You just got to own that. Like you can't watch it back and go, see, I was sick. Look how sick I was.
That's also a problem. Why are you showing up to public events in this COVID world?
Yeah.
While you're sick.
Yeah.
Coughing all over people.
Super spreader.
Disgusting.
But Sutton and Dorit start chit-chatting a little bit, and we get a little clip of Dorit trying to snipe Avi. She's trying to take him away.
Oh, yeah.
And look, I get it. Avi's a great dude. Now I've talked to Avi actually, and yeah, I understand the appeal. But you're trying to poach an assistant.
Yep.
I would imagine in Hollywood
can't do that.
There's no way that's not frowned upon.
It's definitely frowned upon.
Right? It's got
more than most things.
But they start talking, and Sutton calls her out for trying to take Avi from her, and she's like, "Are you going to stop accusing me of things that I didn't do?" It's like you did. We watched it happen.
Both things. You've done both things that she's accusing you of doing.
1,000% correct. The vodka and the coffee and this. And Sutton brings it up. She goes, "Are you going to stop accusing me of putting vodka in my coffee?" And she starts to deflect like I've never seen. She's like, "I never said that. I wasn't accusing you of that. You don't even drink coffee. So there you go." You're missing the point.
She's missing the point. I found it kind of funny that Sutton just let it go by agreeing and saying, "Oh, that was an easy one."
I was baffled.
It didn't make any sense. I think that she just wanted to kind of push it by and not really care about it. I think that's the effect of going out with Erica and Garcelle. She was able to just sit back and have a great time. She might start leaning into this. You know what? It's not worth it for me to get into it. I'm going to wait for the bigger issues, which come a little bit later. This is when we get Erica announcing to everybody that Sutton made out with her driver.
Yes.
I thought Sutton was going to have a full-on meltdown.
I did
and
too,
she
but that's
didn't.
because production made a trailer where it looked like she was going to lose it.
Yeah, even like the scenes from after the commercial break or whatever you might have, it looked like Sutton was going to have a meltdown or at least be offended by it. She laughed it off. She had a great time. That's funny. And for those of the people that I saw a lot of people questioning it online, why did Sutton not get upset that Erica was the one who outed her in front of everyone?
It was we'll just do it right now.
It's a different situation. She had a really nice time with Garcelle and Erica. This is what happens. You share a moment with two other people while you're out. Dorit's pissed off that she wasn't invited in the first place. There's a reason you weren't invited in the first place, Dorit. Nobody wants you to hang around with them because you are fake. You are very fake. And then you'll go straight to Kyle and you'll say Sutton made out with her driver. Immediately. When Erica does it, we know she's doing it in jest. We know, yeah, there might be a slight underlying jab there because Erica's looking at Sutton like, what the fuck's going on with the whole Magic Mike thing? And now you're coming back here. I don't really care anymore because I'm moving past it. I'm going to make a joke and see how you react to it. Sutton laughed. Everything's good. Garcelle laughed in the corner. We left it alone. That is a joke between three people that went out the night before. Not you. You're not involved in this. You're pissed off that you weren't invited. This is what you're going to do.
And that brings me to my theory. You forced it out a little bit early.
Oh,
so
yeah. Let's hear it.
Everything going on with Dorit right now, Dorit feels left out. Dorit no longer has Kyle, and she's fully panicked because she looks around this group and she realizes she's not close with anybody else. So what she's doing is sloppy and it's disorganized because she's going to each woman in the group and talking shit about somebody else, trying to find a comrade. She's trying to find somebody to back up her nonsense, and it's not working because most of the crew is now cool with Sutton. And Kyle, the way that she goes about her business, she is always putting Sutton in the crosshairs, so it's easy for you to latch onto that. Now that you don't have Sutton as a punching bag because you're trying to talk shit to Garcelle about her, Garcelle's not going to abide you. She's not going to sit there and have that discussion because she doesn't agree with you. And you sit down and then you try to throw Crystal under the bus. You're trying to throw all the people under the bus that everyone else is okay with because you no longer have an ally. And when you sit down with Garcelle trying to out Crystal for stirring up shit between you and Sutton, the issue is Dorit does not have any self-awareness. And we see a lot of fake moments with Dorit. So when she talks about this to Garcelle, what we see it as and what Garcelle sees it as is no. What Crystal's doing is outing you for being a dickhead behind closed doors and talking shit behind people's backs. What you're expecting from people is to have your back, but you're not friends with them. So now that you feel left out and alone because your actual friend Kyle has thrown you to the curb for not having her back, you're now desperately trying to find a new friend. You feel alone. You feel solo, you don't know how to handle it, so you keep throwing hand grenades out there and they keep getting kicked right back at you, and you're taking the full explosion.
That's a really good theory.
Yep.
I don't even know if that's a theory anymore. I think that's
facts.
exactly what it is. It's just straight up facts.
It's just facts.
It wasn't even premature.
No, and like you see it again, and this is where she's trying to throw Sutton under the bus by bringing up the Magic Mike thing to Bill Burr's wife. Why does she need to know?
Instantly. She did it when she walked in. Like, what are you doing? Why are you even talking about that? It's weeks ago at this point. Who cares?
Water under the bridge.
We haven't talked about it. I don't think that Nia even really I think she brought up Vegas. They were talking about something else. Bill had a show in Vegas. Why is Dorit even bringing this up? You said exactly who it was that had the problem. And you even said, I want you to bring it up later so that we can talk about it. Why?
You're teeing it up.
What
Why?
are you doing? Like,
that has nothing to do with the show.
There are so many different ways that you can tee it up. You could do whatever you want. If Nia wants to be in this show and she wants to have her little moment, then she's going to do it regardless. You just need to put a little seed out there and see what happens. Don't force it. Now everybody can see this, especially now when we're watching these episodes back and you're on fucking camera, not only talking about Sutton putting vodka in coffee, not only talking about whatever the fuck else you're trying to like shit talk because you have no other friends on the show. You are forcibly putting this out there for another person to do your dirty work for you. So for what, like what's the means to an end here? Just so you can put Sutton on blast and you get called out for it and you do not know what to do. And I thought that this was completely different than Sutton doing the name 'em. The name 'em was sloppy. It made no sense.
This was perfect.
This was perfect because we all know Dorit. Dorit dodges questions. She tries to explain around and go a full like 180 degrees around. That's half a circle for those math people out there.
Nice.
All the way around to a completely different side and then change the subject. That's what she always does. That's her MO. She's not answering the question directly and no one's there to help her out. This was the perfect time for Sutton to repeat the question over and over until Dorit has that freak out.
She does. And it was absolutely perfect. It was well executed by Sutton. And the Suttonism that we get is one of the first that land and actually makes sense. She's like, some people don't like mustard. I'm not going to bring it up to you 80 times a day.
Right.
And she explains it. This is what I didn't like about it. Is that okay with you guys? Is that okay with you, stranger whom I've never met that's asking me this weird question? Like, I couldn't imagine if I came to a party and you came up to me and said, hey, this person you don't know is coming to the party later and they freaked out at an event. I want you to bring it up later. I'd be like, I'm leaving.
That's the
now.
weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Psycho, like, who the fuck are you? But that's exactly what Dorit recognizes as friendship amongst these women. Friendship to her in this group means her friendship with Kyle, which means a joint hatred for somebody else in the group in which they talk shit, connive behind their back, and that's how they founded that tight bond that they had. And she doesn't have that anymore.
Throw in Rinna,
right? But now she's trying to find that with somebody else. Like, these women aren't playing the game that way. They're not trying to find reasons to shit on people. They're trying to find reasons to actually bridge gaps. You need to evolve. You're going to get left behind. But I'm glad that Garcelle calls her out. She's like, how do you know about the Magic Mike thing? She's like, oh, well, Dorit. And then Dorit pulls it out of her pocket. She's like, well, then you made out with your driver. Like, whoa.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, I just don't get it. I know what she's trying to do. I don't want to say I don't get it because I know exactly what Dorit's trying to do.
Right.
She's trying to paint that reference in, well, you can go and make out with your driver, but you can't sit and watch people have fun on the stage at Magic Mike.
Yep.
It's not. You're trying to draw parallels between two very different things. Very different things. And we even agreed earlier on this show, for all the people out there that say that we're just blind Sutton stans, Sutton left because she wasn't invited on stage. And then she got upset about other things. I'm not saying that the two are mutually exclusive. I'm saying that there are other outlying factors in that. It has nothing to do with the fact that she made out with her driver. Also, you're just butthurt that you weren't invited to the drinks with the ladies the night before. So this is your way to, one, get at Sutton and try to spin this narrative, and two, get at the other two that you weren't invited and you're pissed off, but you're going to use a piece of information that was divulged while the ladies were having a great time over a couple of drinks and you were not invited to try to spurn that. It doesn't make any sense. It's fucking sloppy. It's stupid. And I'm happy now because I said this last year. What is Dorit even doing on this show? She brings absolutely nothing. Aside from that, the break-in the beginning of the season, she didn't do anything else. She's just a yes man over and over, and she tries to talk shit with everybody. Now we're finally just honing in on Dorit and saying, what do you do here? What are you doing here? What are you trying to do? Nobody's taking your back right now. You're just getting slammed, dude.
Yeah, and she gets left out to dry the whole entire time, and it was so weirdly satisfying to see because usually she's able to deflect and like weasel her way out, or she'll get a third party come in and save her. Nobody's coming to her defense because it's a bunch of women they don't know, and they're all sitting there like, Jesus Christ, what is her problem?
Oh, yeah.
Because she does. She looks like a straight up asshole, and she's like, I said it in jest, like, guys, we are having fun. And Garcelle is not taking any shit. She says, one, you did that to embarrass her. Two, if you have to say that, we are not having fun. And Dorit's response, and this just shows how tone deaf she is and how up her own ass she is. She says to Garcelle, well, you attacked me. Now, and Garcelle points it out, Erica Jane, of all people, gives us a breakdown of why that is problematic. And in this day and age where people have become more conscious of social issues, have taken it upon themselves to learn more about social issues, to educate and to learn, Dorit has no idea what that means, has no idea what she's talking about, and it is a dangerous word. And like Erica says, there's a much different connotation when a white person says to a black person, I feel attacked, or you use other words, aggressive, certain things you just don't say because it has a different connotation. That's not a feeling. You can't, like, just because you're implying something different, that's just fact.
Right.
It's fact, and you need to be aware of that. If you didn't know and you learn in that moment and you say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'll be better in the future. I'll take this opportunity to learn something. Instead, she puts it on Garcelle. Well, if you had told me, and Garcelle makes a very good point, it is not my job to educate you.
Yep.
It is your job to become educated. I don't need to teach you how to not be an asshole. And now, not like, we talk about trigger words and shit like that's not my favorite word. The word term microaggression is not my favorite term. However, you can't be blind to them. There are certain instances where you don't say certain things because it's insensitive and it's wrong. And the worst part about this is that after the fact, Dorit posts on her fucking Instagram and the caption is happily living in my bubble. It's like, no, your bubble implies white privilege and it implies that you do not understand social issues and are not willing to learn. People won't fault you if you made a mistake and took the opportunity to be better, but to double down and show how ignorant you are and naive to all of this is sloppy. Once again, it's rude and it's a terrible look. And this is just her MO this season. She's lost. She's up shit's creek without a paddle and nobody to help her. And honestly, man, it's kind of refreshing because I get
Dude, she
so
deserves
tired of all of her
She
shit,
deserves it.
right?
Yeah, we're so tired of her shit, and I'm so tired of the people that go online and defend her all the time. She sucks.
She's not good for TV, man.
She has no self-awareness. She doesn't care about anybody else. She only cares about herself. And look, I get it. If her and PK are going through some fucking times, whatever. That's a completely separate issue. That has nothing to do with you being a piece of shit. She tripled down. She went into the confessional weeks and weeks later because we know how confessionals work, right?
Yes, we do.
That timeline makes sense to us. She went into confessional and still said the same thing. It's on Garcelle to tell me. If you tell me that I can't use the word attack or it's a trigger word to you, then I would be better in that moment. No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
She did do that, and she told you it's not on her to fucking teach you how this works. It's not on her to educate you about social issues. You still, weeks later, come back and have the same standpoint. And to make matters worse, like you said, you've got that bubble. Your bubble's burst, dude.
Yeah, your bubble's
You are
pop, bruh.
stuck out there, bruh. You are stuck out there, cuh. And you have no idea what it's like to be on that end of it because you've been doing it for years.
With no
and you were on the
repercussions.
other end of that. You were leading the brigade. You were in the other party with your pitchfork going after people that you just didn't like, that were just clumsy or said the wrong thing. You ripped them apart. Now you're stuck and you've got no one to defend you. Kyle's sitting there with her sister. Her sister's talking about painting. Her sister's talking about mustard still. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but you are hung out to dry and it is so satisfying. I don't care. People say that they don't like to take pleasure in that. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
When you get checked by Denise Richards, who just got back and
Yeah, dude.
was almost incoherent the other night, and she's telling you, hey, take it down a notch because you look awful right now. And she's trying to defend Denise. She's like, oh, have you two? This is the level it gets to because she tries to bring up.
I don't think she was trying to defend. She just tried to deflect
That's
and
what I'm
then
saying.
change the subject.
That's what I mean. Like,
completely.
that's the point that we've gotten to is like the Sutton vodka coffee comment comes up, and I love Sutton's like, I'm headed forward and I'm leaving y'all behind me.
Well, that was
so no.
there was a separate issue
like
with that though, because
No.
now you've got her talking about how accomplished she is, and Kyle in her
Kyle
confessionals.
shits on her. I hate it.
This is the worst. This is the fucking worst. This is absolutely the worst. Kyle stopped drinking. People are asking her about stopping drinking. She gets offended by that, right?
Yep.
How about the other side of that? You cannot sit there and say, "Oh, look at me. I'm Sutton. I don't have a drinking problem. I can say accomplished 15 times in a row." What?
Yeah, what's the double standard?
How about maybe if you do think she has a drinking problem, try to talk to her as a friend. Don't point out that, like, this is the high and mighty bullshit that people do all the time. And it's not just with drinking. Just because you stop doing something, what are you going to start ripping people apart because they're not in shape because you work out 7 times a day? You're not fucking weird. Okay. That's what you're going to do now. And if that's the stance that Kyle's going to take, I don't give a shit about your journey. I don't care about your journey anymore. Steele's writing down in his notes. Steele is my therapist.
Steele's writing down 5117 to remember to use this as a TikTok clip because that was a good rant.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I love rants.
No, that was, I mean, you said it perfectly. And it's really frustrating to watch Kyle not only put Sutton down for, I love the confidence. This is something that, you know, she's been working towards for a long time, is trying to stand alone and be her own woman. And here you go. She's proud of everything that she has, and she's getting attacked by Dorit over it. That's the proper time to use attacked.
Yeah.
Dorit's attacking Sutton. She won't fucking leave it alone. Kyle attacks Sutton. They won't fucking drop it. So yeah, she's finally giving a speech in which she's like, I'm proud of me. I'm accomplishing things. I'm moving forward at a very rapid pace. I'm going to leave you all behind. Good for you. Whatever. Was it kind of funny? Yeah. But was the message good? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And for Kyle to shit on her for that is really weird. It's a weird time to take a shit on your supposed friend instead of being like, you know what? It is great. Good for you, Sutton. Funny speech, but good for you. But like I was saying, the whole thing was a deflection from Dorit because she's trying to take the spotlight. She is so uncomfortable right now. You can see her sweating almost.
Mhm.
And she's
Well, there are a lot of people in that room.
there's a ton of people.
Did anybody tell her how many people were coming?
We didn't even get that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
A
mean?
lot of people. Maybe that's why she made the comment about Crystal's friends.
Maybe it was.
I wasn't expecting this many people. There's 4 extra people here. I'm a little uneasy.
It's a lot of people. But she's trying to deflect in any possible way. She tries with the vodka thing. She tries with the Denise and Erica thing as her last hurrah. Will this work? Hey, have you guys had the conversation yet? Have you two talked yet? And even Denise, like I said, she's like, dude, what are you doing? You idiot. Like, knock it off. She panics at that point.
Yep.
Now she's just like, well, I don't have any friends, so I'm going to fucking leave. And she runs out of the house. Sprints. And she's gone. And now we get Erica and Denise. And this is a matchup made in heaven.
So good.
So good. And God, this hit so much better because Erica is so much more composed now. So now that she's going off and clapping back finally, it lands so good. And I forgot how good she is in a fight because, I mean, it's obviously the low-hanging fruit, but there is a way to do it where it hits better. And when she brings up the OnlyFans thing, because Denise's big issue is like, my kids don't know about threesomes in this. She's like, your kids don't know about threesomes. Your daughter has an OnlyFans. And the point that Erica's trying to make in general, and it's unfortunate, but it's simply true. And as a parent in today's world, you have to be aware everything's at their fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
They have a phone. They have social media. They're going to learn about things a lot younger. I am a parent of a 7-year-old. That's horrifying, but it's real. You can't just look the other way and say they don't know about that stuff, especially when your oldest daughter has a fucking OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Be more self-aware.
Your kids are also 14 years old.
Yeah.
Like, we just had that conversation with Garcelle's son about how he found out about their divorce and his dad cheating on her. Like, there are a lot of things.
He was 8
years old. So you think your kids don't know about threesomes at 14?
I learned about threesomes from, I think, an Eminem song. And I was probably 10 or 11.
Yeah.
What? No, what's the line?
I used to think people got pregnant because you would pee in them. That was probably 7, though.
That was good. You learned like a week
last
ago?
year.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah. Just peeing inside people. Where's my babies?
I've been trying to get a woman pregnant for my entire life.
I thought my pee was good.
I need to go get my pee tested out at the sperm bank. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
That's what a rant. But the last thing is just the perfect way to end the episode. Erica's like, you can't expect me not to go low, but look. I just want to know who's more profitable, you or your daughter. And I was like, boom.
That was the
Fuck
best.
you, Denise.
That is maybe the best line that I've seen since we started doing this. Like,
It's so good.
it was so good, and this is exactly what we need.
Yep.
This is the Erica that we need. We need her to stop getting so low and dirty all the time and pull it out when it's going to hit the hardest.
And it
because
hit.
nobody can hit harder than a good prime Erica Jane. I would take her against anybody else in Bravo, and she pulled that thing out. And again, yes, it is low-hanging fruit, but putting those two together is fucking hilarious. No backing down, going right at Denise, because guess what? She apologized last week.
She did.
She doesn't even know what she's apologizing for, but she apologized because she just wants to get it over with. I don't want to deal with you, Denise. I don't really care. Who the fuck cares? Dorit's going to throw you in here. You're going to start standing up and make absolutely no sense. And here we are. I'm going to do this to you, and you're done.
It was
Down for the count.
It was masterful, truly. But that takes us to the question portion of the show. So let's jump right in. Up first from Megan. Man, guys, why do we have to do it this way? Megan Holla 18. That's what I got. Who do we like and who do we not like? It's hard to determine at this point. Oh, I disagree. Megan Holla.
Megan Holla.
Holla. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But no.
You're definitely saying it wrong.
I'm for sure saying it wrong, and I apologize. But I don't think it's that hard to determine. I don't like Dorit. I don't like Kyle. I have much more sympathy and empathy for Kyle and what she's going through, and I'm not nearly as like off Kyle as I used to be. I genuinely think this has got to be one of the hardest times in her life, so I'm trying to give her grace there. Dorit can kick rocks. I'm done with her. Everybody else, honestly, I'm cool with. I'm enjoying everybody else in this season.
Yeah, same here.
From RHOBH86, is it fair for Kyle to freeze out Dorit over calling her in about Kathy?
I don't know if freeze out entirely is the move, because what is Kyle going to do? I mean, she's got her sister back, so she's going to lean on her a little bit. She's got Morgan. Obviously, her marriage is falling apart. It doesn't mean that she doesn't need Dorit as a friend. I feel like she can definitely be upset about it and read Dorit a little bit, but I don't think you freeze her out entirely.
I don't think it's a freeze out. I think what we got is exactly what we're seeing is just a distant Kyle. And I think that paired with Morgan Wade is going to create a much bigger separation between the two.
Yeah, I would agree.
Ooh, I like this one from Susie B0302. What housewife do you think from any franchise would fit into Philly the best? Who could come to Philly and thrive?
Candace, for sure.
Candace.
We know that Chris loves Philly, so it's not surprising.
Erica Jane, maybe.
Erica could probably do any.
Yeah, she could hang here.
Especially this Erica.
A lot of the crew from Roni, I think, would do fine in Philly.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I think that they need special things.
I'm
They're ripping neighborhoods apart and stuff.
I'm talking like
old Roni.
No, I'm talking like posh Philly. Like if they go live in like Rittenhouse and like go to the nice restaurants, not.
Only a couple of blocks there. Though.
Yeah, I know it's not a whole lot. So maybe not
to move around.
I was thinking more just because they're younger and the scene in Philly is like like cool restaurants and bars. I'm gonna Erica, Candace, and all of the Jersey housewives.
Oh yeah,
they're close enough.
They'd be fine.
Yeah, Dolores.
They'd live in the main line, but they'd come down.
Yeah. I think Dolores would be the most comfortable in like downtown Philly.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Last one from Brinson Micah. Is this Dorit's final season? Not even Erica will defend her.
I don't know, because we're actually getting more out of Dorit this year than we have in past years. So I kind of want to see how this unfolds. As it stands right now, I would have her back, though, just because I want to see what happens.
Like you said.
Maybe we get a different Dorit. Look, I don't want to actively root for her downfall. I just feel like this has been a long time coming, and I'm happy that she's finally having to face the music. If she comes out as a better person and she's a more entertaining housewife, then yeah, bring her back.
Fair enough. Oh, wait, I got one more from our boy Outdoor Los.
Oh, God.
Are we once again skipping Ultimate Girls Trip? If so, I'm done with this pod. 2 things from me here, Los. 1, I do not take kindly to threats. Okay? Don't take kindly to threats. So if you're going to threaten us, then fuck off. 2, yes, we're going to cover Ultimate Girls Trip next week because there's not a whole lot to watch. So we're going to dive in and recap some of the episodes. But hey, pal, you can't no-show like 3 shows and skip us for Beyonce and then make demands. All right?
We got you free tickets because you were put in a weird position where somebody
we
made
didn't
you
get him
buy
free
a
tickets.
ticket.
He said he didn't need them.
You too good for free tickets?
Yeah, you're too good for free stuff.
You don't show up?
Yeah, he did show up. He just didn't. He didn't even tell us you were there.
Bullshit.
I was
tell
us you were there.
I didn't see one other. He has a mustache now. I didn't see one other guy with a mustache in that crowd.
So you know what, Los?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not invited to listen to the podcast anymore.
We should start doing that.
Yeah, you're
paywall just Los.
Nah, just come to the fucking show and say hi. All right, we're sick of this just back and forth nonsense.
It's kind of funny.
But that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's my favorite TikTok reel.
Is it?
That girl saying
comes up every year, yeah.
So every year. And I forget about it.
Chrysler. You really do like it. You're laughing very hard right now.
I told you. It's just, it pops up. It's like, Merry Christmas. And I'm like, oh, she back. But remember to buy tickets to our show, guys. January 25th, Green Room 42 in Times Square. Link is in our Instagram bio to purchase. Follow us on all of our socials at @brav_bros and subscribe to our YouTube channel at BravBros Podcast. Other than that,
check you later.
We'll see you on the next episode, which we're about to record.
Bingo.
What's his name up?